Hello, this video is not sponsored. I bought this set on Amazon for $55 US. Its regular retail price seems to be $74 US, but I've literally never seen it at that price. It's always discounted or there's at least a coupon. It's called the Winery Chateau House, and it's from a brand called Insoon that I've never heard of before. There are 1,826 pieces here, and it also comes with some lights. To see those lights, it's best to turn this around, and you see that the lighting itself is fairly subtle in there. The lights consist of a 1x4 plate with LEDs embedded into it in a nice warm color for each of the floors. So one strip or bar here, one up here, and then one down on the ground floor. And here you can also see that this whole building is fairly open around the back. Not 100% open, but they don't have like ports for easy access to the interior and to close it up completely. Again, this brand is new to me, and the price looks absolutely insanely good. So I need to do some serious evaluation here and see what's wrong with this, because certainly there's got to be something wrong with it. First of all, it does not come with any figures, but I'm okay with that because, no company other than the leading brand is able to make the figures that people actually want to go with brick-based stuff, figure-scaled stuff. So I personally feel like it's better to not include figures at all, and then people can just add whatever they want. That this way you're not wasting money. It does come with a number of nice small animals, and we'll see those around. The build quality is interesting. So first of all, the parts do not seem to be from the most popular manufacturer, Go Bricks. I think they're from Xingbao, but I might be wrong about that. I think they are, but the quality is good. The quality is very good. It has slightly higher clutch power. It takes a little bit more efforts to push the parts together than what I'm personally used to, just slightly. Not a lot, but slightly. Enough to notice, especially if you're building from different brands back to back. The worst part of that is that the plate down here, the base plate, is fully built up, and it has a series of very large plates that overlap completely. So it's a whole lot of studs that you have to push together. And I was shocked, and I still am shocked, that the base does not warp up. Normally from even the leading brand with the best quality parts, when you put too many studs together on top of each other without spacing it out with smaller pieces, you will get significant warping. And that's just because of the physics of how it works. With the clutch power will actually pull the upper piece up into itself, to bow into itself, or push it from the underside. And that didn't really happen here. I mean, there's a tiny bit of warping, a tiny bit of lifting on this corner over here, but most of it, even right from the start, was pretty clean. And I mean, the finish on these bricks is pretty good. The color consistency between different parts feels very good, possibly even better than with the market-leading Go Bricks. They have not a lot of prints. There are some prints in here, but not a lot of them. They do have nice, shiny, coated metal pieces or metallic style pieces, including the silver. There's some gold that you'll see throughout, as well as just the regular pearl gold. But I mean, just generally, quality felt good to me, but this does feel like a little bit of an advanced build. Definitely not something that you would want to give to a small child. I would say this is better for like at least 10 plus, because specifically the vines, and specifically these over here, these grapevines that are a little bit like vertical little clumps and bushes, there's some repetition between them, but the alignment of the leaves and the bundles of grapes has to be just right. Otherwise, they don't fit together right. It's a very, very compact build. Each one of it is a very, very compact build. And it just takes a little bit of extra care and manual dexterity and finagling a little bit to get those to be just the way that's shown in the instructions. The instructions are good. The quality of the instructions is excellent. Some of the lowest glare that I've ever seen from instructions for brick-based stuff. There's usually some glare that I find to be annoying, depending upon the size and shape of the instructions. I was not able to find digital instructions for these. Usually when I build these sets live or on Twitch, I use digital instructions if I can, but in this case, I wasn't able to find them. And when that happens, which it does happen sometimes, then I have to lay out the instructions. Sometimes instructions are vertical. Sometimes they're horizontal. And as you go through the pages, you'll have different amounts of curving to the pages, and you'll start to see glare from your environment, just from your lighting. And this just had, the pages are just great quality, truly great quality. The printing is a little bit small, but I personally found everything to be nice and easy to follow. This is a piece that I personally hadn't seen before, a variation on an old theme with some extra texture in the leaves. If anybody particularly recognizes this specific part design, if that helps you to recognize exactly which brick manufacturer was responsible for this, please let me know in the comments. But as soon as I saw this, it was recommended to me on Amazon, just randomly, as I've been looking at other alternate brands and things. I immediately looked to see if I could find if this was a stolen mock, a stolen fan design, which oftentimes the off-brands are, especially little ones that I've never heard of before. This one doesn't seem to be. As far as I can tell, this is an original design. I haven't seen anybody else selling this other than just resellers of Insoon. And I haven't seen any mocks that are, I'd say, closer than just thematically similar. Like there are some other Tuscany-inspired villa designs out there, but this, I just wasn't able to find anything like this. This seems to be legit, and I looked up other builds from this company, other sets from this company. They seem to be legit. They seem to be ethical in how they're approaching things, and what do you know? There's a lot of stuff here for what I paid with $55, or even at the $74 regular price. It's a lot of stuff. I personally did not like how the lighting was done, though. I am not surprised that it's a little bit on the simple side, but they give you batteries. Batteries are included with the thing. I haven't opened this up yet. They are replaceable. I haven't opened this up to see what exact type they are, but they're in this little thing here, which is relatively nondescript. It's got some printing on the side there. You can probably turn that around, but here's the on-off switch for it. And then there's a wire here. It's a twisted pair, and it goes up underneath. I think there was no pinching for that one. They gave just a little bit of space for it. And then it comes in here again. You see there the 1x4 little module, which is nice. It's got the clear plastic around it, just two individual surface mount LEDs, and then that has a wire coming out of it, and then you route that wire on up to the next level. There was at least one spot where the wire did pinch, but you can see the next one right there, and then the final one is up in the roof. Wait, it's off to the side. I forget exactly where it was for the top one, but along the way you can see the wiring in some places, like over here. This wire, you can see it actually goes down the stairs. So down below, depending upon how you route it, you can have the wire kind of get in your way there. There's a little bit of extra wire down here as well. If you don't pull this through, then it'll be hanging down in the middle. So that wasn't that great. But more importantly and frustratingly, to see the interior of this, you do want to take the roof off. So that's good. That works just fine. But then you also want to take off the next level. And the whole thing is designed to have the levels removed. But when you do remove a level, they don't have any connections for the wire where you can disconnect it. You have to actually remove the entire light and then kind of feed it back down through to the next level below. So you don't get easy access to fully appreciating all the interior detail after it's built. And that is a shame, because there is plenty of interior detail in this thing. And look, there's another small animal. Like, this is built up pretty nicely here. They're using, completely unnecessarily, they're using the nice plated or painted gold bars here to hold what's ultimately just exterior detail, just to represent these kind of barrels and taps outside. I don't know what exact architectural detail that represents, but that's how they end up being made in brick form. But it's a little bit extra luxurious, more luxurious than it needs to be. They have a nice little candle off to the side. They have some pieces in their part inventory that I think I've only seen from Kobe and Mega, I want to say. There's a part down there in particular that really stood out for me, but I always appreciate seeing small pieces that are really useful for doing interesting things, changing direction and switching between bar and clip and stud construction. But now, again, to take this off safely, what I need to do is remove the light. So the light is here up on the rafter bar. So I need to actually pull that off or push it off, and then route that back down through the stairs So I can then separate. So here's the thing, right? It's just an inverted tile. Route that down through the stair so I can take this level off now. And now I also need to remove this light here because it has only a certain amount of wire to give it room to attach there. So that also needs to be taken off. And then there's one more that I'll have to take off in order to take this level off. But let's look at the detail in there first. The little chair builds are kind of nice. And just overall, this space is laid out in a pleasing way. Definitely has enough room to put some figures in there. Just a larger table over here, a smaller one off to the side that's kind of halfway on the balcony on the side. And some of your libations can be sampled from over here. The green is interesting. I don't know. It's not like the traditional trans dark green. It's like a just transparent green, not trans bright green, but just trans green. A little bit brighter than I'm used to. Slightly translucent as well, not as clear. I like the yellow ones. You got more barrels around. There's one here. There's one over there. There's another one underneath the eaves down here as well. But yeah, some detail, not a lot, but some, and definitely feels like it would accommodate regular minifigures just well. And finally, like I said, got to remove one more light, and that's all of them. And this is storage and production down here. So you have a bunch of bottles over there, and this is a large barrel that's kind of loose, so you can move it around if you want. This one has a tap at the base of it. Got a small bucket there. You've got an empty bottle over here, some grapes over here on the side as well, some samples over here on the side, and also you saw earlier outside the press, the grape press is what's represented here. I wish that this had kind of a screw element in it at some point just to better approximate what that is and what it should look like. Maybe it's a little bit shiny, for the theme or kind of the age or the feeling of the place in general. But, I think all the major components that are here are pretty decent for what they are. There are a couple of extra studs where you could put the feet of minifigures, even down here where things are tiled off. And I do want to call out also these pieces. There's some upstairs as well. I didn't call it out before. It's a color that I've never seen before. It's a metallic, like teal. It's very interesting. It's once again painted like the silver and gold pieces. I'm not really getting a good level of shine off of it, but it is metallic, and it was just interesting to see. I always like seeing colors that I've never seen before in brick-built stuff in general. Speaking of which, as I put this back together, I believe those tables are a color that I've not seen before. It's very similar to the leading brand's old medium orange that they only used for a handful of years way back in the day, but this is a little bit more pale than that, and also slightly more yellowish, I think. Again, though, this set retails for $74 US, and I've never seen it sell for that high. And I'm sure that if you go to some of the cheaper sites that ship directly from China, you can find it significantly cheaper than that as well. I just go by what's easily accessible to me, and I don't try to seek out the absolute most ridiculously crazy deals. This is just Amazon. This is with free shipping when you got that Amazon Prime. $74 and less for 1,826 pieces and a good build, something that looks good. This is very elegant. The worst things about it, the worst two things are, one, that it does have these openings around the back. Easy enough to customize that with a small number of pieces to fix it, but it is a problem with the set as it's designed and with the parts that are included here. Those openings do exist. And then the lighting being as simple as it is, which makes it, ironically, more difficult to take the thing apart if you want to see the interior detail. That said, I do like the way the lighting is done and how simple it is. The parts are good quality that they give you there. None of the wiring and cable management requires it uses anything structural, so you can easily just leave the lights out if you don't want to run them at all. Just leave them out. I can take the lights out right now very, very quickly. Easily accessible battery box that is easy to hide. It's, that's already not really standing out as it is. Batteries included. If this did not have lights whatsoever, it would still be a ridiculously good deal at $74. Let me just round to $75 US for over 1,800 pieces here. And this thing That looks so good. Let me actually, this is something I should have done earlier. Put a random regular minifigure in there for the sake of scale so you can see what the size of this thing is. You know, this is the size of a modular building. This is proper. You know, it doesn't go the full width of the plate, but it has more depth than most. Imagine this, you know, shrunk down a little bit on one dimension and widened out on another. This is significant. This is a lot of stuff. And though the parts have a little bit more clutch power than usual, which between the two options, too much or too little clutch power, you want too much clutch power. You want too much. That's not, it's not a bad compromise whatsoever. It's not a bad thing to lose quality-wise, as long as, you know, there are no missing pieces, there are no weird chemicals or residues. You know, this is clearly coming from a factory that knows its stuff, that's been doing this for a while. Everything came out nice and clean. Almost everything is very shiny as well. The overall design is good. I keep noticing this kind of falling down here. The connection of the roof isn't the greatest, honestly. It's a little bit weird, and it is just sitting there after all. Yeah, maybe this could have been done a little bit better, but it's not like it's going to fall apart. That's for sure. It just could have been a little bit better. But the value here is insanely good. And the thing looks so nice. I have already ordered 2 more sets from this company off Amazon as well, because I want to try more. I want to try other things in different styles, not just buildings from them. My mind is honestly a little bit blown. I'm trying to keep my excitement under control, to put it mildly. I thought I had been reviewing stuff with great value. I thought I had been showing just how inexpensive rather, ABS plastic brick-based collectible models and toys can be, but this just reset the math entirely, because this is at a price that where I would expect poor quality. I would expect some loose fitment. I would expect some really janky connections, some lack of parts where structure is needed and they just didn't have enough because they just didn't have the budget for it. I would expect really scuffed parts, literally scuffed parts from just poor handling, bulk handling. Or at the very least, if not all of the above, at the very least, I would expect it to be a stolen design. None of those seem to be the case, as far as I can tell. This went together fine. Took a little bit more care and concentration than the average set that I build these days. But again, it went together fine. No missing parts. No quality issues, as far as I'm concerned, that bothered me. And the worst thing about it is needing to push harder to put these big old plates together. It's just a small design issue. They should have broken up the plates into smaller bits, and then it would have resulted in a higher part count. Would that have bumped the price up? It doesn't cost that much more. ABS is super cheap. The plastic raw material is super cheap. In many cases, it's cheaper to use a small number of very large pieces than a large number of small pieces, just because, you know, there's more production costs involved in managing all the injections for the little pieces and managing the parts and counting them and all that kind of stuff. So all in all, this is amazing, and I strongly recommend it, as long as you have some kind of finger strength, to push parts together. Again, it's just a little bit more clutch power than I'm used to. It's probably like 10% more than I'm used to. The parts just have a slightly firmer fit. They again introduced some parts that I've never seen before, or that I've only seen from a limited number of brands. The design of this even is a little bit different. Actually, I only just realized that one of these is offset a little bit. Some things are designed a little bit different. Some things are relatively unique. Some of the prints are nice. The prints that are there, it's just so good. If you like what you see, I can't recommend against it. I don't want to push you to buy this if you don't want it, if you're not confident in it. I hope that I've shown and told you enough things about its shortcomings so that if you were interested in getting it, you wouldn't be disappointed when you actually do receive and put it together. But again, based on this experience, I have gone ahead and bought 2 more sets, and I will probably buy more from them in the future if they come anything close to this in terms of quality and value in the future. So I hope that this was of value to you as a video. And even if you're not interested in purchasing this, I hope that still, you got some interesting out of the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much for your support, for making it this far in the video in the first place. And I'll talk to you again soon.